Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. My virtual obsession, my romantic thriller, is now available on Amazon and other online retailers. This book explores the intersection of loneliness, love, and how chasing perfection through technology can lead to fantasy and reality colliding. My virtual obsession out now.
Hey everyone, it's Crestani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am joined by the delightful Safra Turner. So she is the founder of Holistica, Institute for Holistic Health and Advanced Energetics. She has nearly 3 decades of experience in holistic healing, emotional transformation, and advanced energetics. Safra helps individuals reclaim their sovereignty, access their innate healing capacity, and awaken perception from practical tools grounded in universal law, base 10 and base 12 consciousness, and integrative natural therapeutics. So a big welcome to the show, Safra.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be
I know.
here.
Straight away, I feel to ask you, what does base 10 and base 12 consciousness mean?
Yeah. So let's start here because you talk about sovereignty, right? In your work and in the work that you do, and you share that out. And so we step into our freedom, step back into our power, right? So I am certain that to some extent, you as the audience are aware that we are under a system of control or an architecture of a control-based system.
Matrix.
That control-based system, the matrix, I call it the base 10 matrix or the base 10 system. Yes. And that matrix system, that particular matrix, it's a control-based system. We were talking a little bit before our conversation live about this as well. But in that system, there are a number of areas that have been specifically developed and created to condition our minds to believe that we need to externalize our power to outside sources. These structures are things such as government or governance, financial system, education system, health and scientism, not science, scientism, religion and new age, just anything that basically has you take the power of your innate self as source. You are a direct reflection of source. You are source, not just a reflection. You are source. You have source within you. We'll talk about that in a moment. And externalize that, giving your power away to some other system. So the base 10 matrix is this system it's an architecture, a matrix architecture that we do not see around us, but it permeates every aspect of our current conscious life experience for almost all of us. For almost all of us. There may be a few, you could say, either indigenous tribes or land-based systems that may or may not be a part of that at this moment. But overall, the vast majority are going to be under this system of conditioning, control, and external validation. So that is going to be the base 10 system. I will continue. I know that we lost Catherine for a moment there, but I'm going to continue. The base 12 structure. This is going to be a little bit different. In the base 12 structure, this is going to be your natural universal matrix. What that means is that our universe is based upon a pattern to create matter, to create this universe itself. There are a pattern that created. Now, this starts, all matter, all form, all existence starts with light. And then that light, as it moves closer and closer and closer and at different levels and at different heights, becomes sound. Sound and light together at the different levels and different frequencies turn into what we know as dimensions, dimensional existence, and the D dimension that we are in right now in our physical experience. So this base 12 system is the natural system of our universe. This is where we are sovereign through simply existing. We are sovereign, while at the same time, we are fractals or aspects of source coming into this universe, which is really just a playground of experience, in order for us to be able to experience ourself in all of the various experiences. So where the base 10 system is this artificial formulation over us that we believe is true and real. So many people will say, if you don't vote, you're not expressing your right to your freedom. But really, when somebody gives you two options and says, pick one, that's your choice. Where's the choice in that, right? That's nonsensical. In the base 12 system, you are inherently sovereign, inherently free, and inherently aware of yourself as source. In the fractal matrix or base 12 matrix, we are aware of self as source. And therefore, under universal law, and I haven't really gotten into universal law, but under universal law, what that means is that you can utilize the law of correspondence: as above, so below; as below, so above. It goes both ways. As source experiencing itself, we, as fractals of source, are experiencing the plethora of experiences that we can have here. And as we grow and evolve ourselves consciously, because we exist across all dimensions and we exist through all space and time, right? But as we evolve consciously, we open up the barriers of, you could say, a remembrance of who we are. And we also evolve into different levels of the dimensional states as well. So while we believe, most of us, right, that we are like a physical body, this is all we are, we're really missing the point, but it's been something of a conditioning that has convinced us to be separate from that awareness of the truth.
That
of
point of like, we give
So base
away
10
our power
control,
too
base
often
12
in that
free.
matrix.
That's it.
I was going to say matrix 10 system, but base 10 system, right? I already put it together. But
I know you.
I was on a panel a few months ago and we were talking about women and health, because we were talking about how often women are discounted, because we're quite naturally intuitive, especially when it comes to our family and our children. We know when our kids aren't right. And so often we will have this fight and this pushback, and they'll say, oh no, just give them this script. You're like, no, I don't want to. There's something else going on. What else is going on? What's the underlying level? But when you say yes, even though your gut is screaming no, that is you giving your power away. When you need someone else to tell you the decision, that is when we're giving our power away. My big thing I've been sharing and talking about that keeps coming up is how to not lose your voice in the AI world. How to not lose your voice and let AI replace you, because it is just a reflection, but you also can use your discernment to determine if it feels right or not. And so I frequently talk about how I will fight with my chat, like when I'm trying to create SEOs and things. But at the same, it's understanding that you have to keep your voice within that. So the best example I heard, if you go to leave the house and your intuition, that inner knowing, that beautiful sovereign being you are, says, go grab an umbrella, and you go, I'll just check the weather app, right? And the weather app is like, oh, it's going to be sunny and shiny today. And then you leave that umbrella at home and 2 hours later, it starts pouring rain. You have discounted your sovereignty, you have discounted your intuition, and you have put your power in technology. And it might seem like such a simple thing, but the more we do that, the more we actually squish our own power, and the more we disconnect from, like you said, as above, so below as above, and we disconnect from those ability. So I often say to people when they tell me their limitations, I said, but why not? Like, why can't you do that? And when they step from that limiting, like all the reasons that we've been told to limit ourselves and keep ourselves small, and step instead into why can't it be a possibility? What if that did happen? That is a different energy entirely. And like you said, that is when we go to that base 12 and get that expansion. And when you can create and manifest anything, you truly can.
You're shifting. We are infinite potential. When I say, and what you are saying, when I say we are fractal of source, what that means is that we have all of the remembrance, all of the knowledge, all of the awareness that is within source as well. We have the power. I want to share my conscious spiritual awakening, right? I was young. I was 17 on my own in a new country, learning a new language, served in a military in a new country, drafted, and I was a combat soldier, and one of the first female ones. So I was like, I was making all of these cool things happen that I had believed was my way of making a difference in the world. We learn, right? But that was what I believed then. And I was sitting on the border of our outpost, and I began to realize that I could work with rain. I could bring clouds. I began to understand that we could bring fog over the valley. That was my awakening process, was utilizing your own self to connect to all that is, or oneness, or self as source, or however you want to look at it, God, whatever you want to call the term, right? It's I think well beyond what our current selves can really fully comprehend, and to make that manifest. And when you become aware that you can bring rain or bring clouds in places where like there's no rain, in seasons that there's no rain, your entire experience is going to change, because it's just like, so what else can I do? What else is feasible in this experience? I mean, I'm sure you talk about healing a lot. Healers, it doesn't matter where you're located. It doesn't matter what time period you're in. Nothing will, right? Stop, because you are connecting through that oneness
Oh my God.
into wherever and whatever else you are meant to be connecting into. And that is this potential of possibilities that we carry within ourselves as source, because we recognize our connection to source as source. And then we have the opportunity, because we become aware of this, to bring this out into our physical experience in the world around us, which is just astounding. When you become aware that you are an entity, a being of infinite potential, you stop questioning your value. You stop questioning your worth. You stop questioning how you become validated from external sources. And you truly begin to turn into yourself, and within yourself, into your power, and begin to manifest yourself in that potential of who you are and what you are. And that, by the way, is sovereignty. That is true sovereignty, that potential of knowing who you are and taking the responsibility to experience and become aware of the experiences that you are having on a conscious level here in the physical world around us.
Timelines keep coming up this week. And this is the thing. People think time is linear. Like we just go from one point to another and that our past dictates our future. No, you can erase your past, actually. You can change your timeline. You can shift your future. And yes, there's fate and there's destiny and there's soul purpose and mission, but you always have free choice and you can always determine which path you go down. And so this has kept coming up this week because I've been supporting a client. And we have to keep collapsing these alternate timelines that keep opening up through this energy work that she's been doing. And we actually have to call in all parts of herself across the timelines because, like you said, we can there is no time. We can be in multiple places at once. We can jump between things, and this is why there's infinite possibilities. This is why we can reach into another version of ourselves and get the knowledge that we need. That's how I do it. This is why we can go, I could, like, for me, when I'm working with clients, I'm like, can I do that? They're like, of course you can. Why would we tell you that if you
Yes.
couldn't do that? I was like, oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure ethically it's okay, but you're giving me the thumbs up. So let's go. Because I'm very mindful. I don't want to upset people's journey. I don't want to take away people's journey because then it upsets my karma too. And this is the thing, we're all connected on so many levels. And even I was just running a class before this, and I said, when you are open and ready and you call in the people to come into your life to give you the next step, they will show up. And the person I had on the call, she said, yeah, I wanted to learn more about herbs and that sort of thing. And she goes, I have a colleague, and he started talking to me about herbs and medicinal things. And she looked at him and she goes, I had no idea. He's a full-on businessman, his day job, background, doing work with herbs and all these things that she needed to learn. She goes, known this man for years. I had no idea. And this is where, when we open up to those possibilities, we'll magnetize what needs to come so we can step forward.
Yes. So I'd like to tell you a little story about my experience. It's a personal story. So I have not told your audience nor you too much about my experience, but the bottom line is that I went through extreme censorship and suppression during the COVID years. I had a large, a great group on Facebook, a very active business. My entire website was shut down. I was kicked out of all social media. I was literally deleted from the internet. You will not find those years on the internet. About a year ago, I said, enough, gotta heal. Enough of this, right? Like I've trusted the process. I held my observation. I went through the emotions because that's a part of the healing process. I walked the dark night because that's a part of the process as well. Burned away parts of me. I died. I was reborn. All of that happened, so this is not like some baby process. It's a dark night. I decided to go hiking in the mountains. Spent a month hiking in the Appalachian Trail. It's about a 2,000-mile trail. So I did part of a portion here, not a lot because it's only 1 month hiking, and spent that month out in nature. And I used that time to heal. And as I was healing, I said, okay, I needed about 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks almost of that period, to just drain the cup, basically, right? To drain out all of I needed to heal. I had to release. I went through that process. I went through this. And after about 2 weeks, I said, okay, universe, I'm ready now. I've already learned to navigate under the system, under the radar. I've already, learned man's law, natural law, universal law, and I've integrated this into my life. I've already stepped into a lot of sovereignty, but now I'm ready to step back out again. I'm ready for the next action steps. I am ready for my cup to start filling again. That day, of course, after 5 years of silence, pretty much, the path begins to awaken again. Here's what you need to do. And I start writing. I'm a writer, right? So I just start writing and writing and writing and writing. I'm taking notes and I'm taking notes. I took a break from the hike. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. Halfway through the second day, I look at the notes. I'm like, oh my goodness. This was literally the 5-year plan that I had going into the COVID years. Completely forgot about that because I died and I was reborn. A very different version of Safra is what you see now from 6 years ago. And these plans are still here, somewhere back there, where I locked them up and completely forgot about them until it was time for them to be reawakened again. And I was given one name of one person to reach out to. Her name is Melissa. She has helped me to build this institute from nothing into everything that it is in such a short period, all from taking some time to go in and heal and say, okay, universe, ready for those next steps. I am ready to take that action and to step back out and to call in those that are meant to be
I feel to share
with
this
me
story,
and connected in journey.
I don't think I've shared it on this podcast before.
Just like
I've
you
shared
said,
in a few interviews
when
this
it's
week
time,
because it's just funny.
when you're ready.
But at the start of
it'll
the
come.
year, I wasn't getting many clients. And I was like, why aren't I getting clients? And whenever I have questions like this, I journal because I don't blame. I actually go within. But and that's the biggest thing. That's what you did, right? You went within, you went out into nature, you let yourself, come back to ground zero. So I wrote, why am I not getting any clients? You know what I wrote? I don't want any. And I went, what? And I'm like, no, I don't. Because I needed space because I was launching my novel. I was still doing my podcast things. I was still being a mom. I needed the space to get back under myself and recalibrate. I needed that space. And then just last weekend, I was in this energetic sales workshop, for sales blocks and things like that. And I truly know, when you've healed something or a wound really well, when you're not triggered by things anymore. So I'm sitting there in this sales workshop and I'm like, oh my goodness, I love her energy. I love showing up for her, and then she was sharing the offering that you could go and work with her a bit more. I was like, no, I don't actually have the spare finances for that right now. That's fine. Thank you. And I wasn't triggered at all. But the other part of that was, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually ready to see clients again. Kid you not, within the hour, Safra, my phone started calling. It was just, I had messages. I had clients. I was like, oh, wow, that was so fast because I was ready. I wasn't tired anymore and I was ready to open up and allow that to come in. And then I have to share the next part. Then the person that runs that workshop messaged me and she said, I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you always show up. I appreciate you. And she goes, I want to give you the workshop less than half price. And I went, universe, am I meant to do this? Safra, the money showed up in my account. It just was there. I don't even know where it came from. I'm like, thank you. And this is the thing, when that happens, you need to book it in. You need to do, because otherwise you're not acknowledging and solidifying what you need. But I love what you said, that you weren't ready. And then all of a sudden you could create this whole business really quickly because you suddenly had the energy to do it. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And that's it. I mean, when we're ready, the path will
Yes.
unfold. There is I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's called
Yes.
Field of Dreams. It's what is his name? Kevin Costner, right? And it's if you build it, they will come. And in our world, right, it's take the step. Don't just wish and I want and this and that. Take the step, whatever that step is. Take the step, and it'll happen. Open your energy up, be prepared for it, move
It's
forward,
like I
clear
actually
the
ran
space,
because
whatever
I
needs to
actually
be
work for a
done.
psychic hotline as well. That's just a
And
random thing.
you manifested
But
your
I
clients
ran into my
like
husband
that.
and I was like, I have never been this busy. And he goes, yeah, I know. You haven't gotten off the phone. I'm like, I know. I'm so excited. I was like, okay, who am I supporting next? And it was just a very different energy, a very different kind of approach to moving forward. And it was that quick. And then like this week, I've had like other people start to come back that I'd pushed out of my field because I wasn't ready myself. And I feel like the biggest message we're trying to share is that you always have your power and you control what happens on the outside. And this is the thing, when we start to look for reasons on the outside, you're looking in the wrong place. It's all going to come from in here.
Percent. That's it. And you cannot be more true than that point. Everything, your entire path unfolds when you're willing to listen to yourself. And we all know that you said it, I think, with the umbrella example. When we're looking in a different direction, it's going to start raining. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. But when you are true to yourself, your path will unfold. And I want to say something else as well about that, because I stand very strongly under law of one. And we were talking a little bit about the matrices, right? And so law of one, basically, bottom line of law of one, just in case you've never heard of this before, is we all come from the same place, which makes us all the same, pretty much oneness, and we all go back to the same place. That's the simplest bottom line of law of one. Means there we go. What that means is that even if we take detours or alternative paths, we're always going to end up where it is that we need to go, whether it's in this lifetime, another lifetime, a parallel lifetime. As you said earlier, we exist on all planes, all dimensions, all spaces, all times, right? Because as one, we are one, which means we are, there's no separation, which means we will always end up where we need to go. The question is, right, when you're talking about we have free will and there is the determination. Predetermination is, right, we kind of decide these are the lessons we want to learn, or this is, what we're coming down to experience, or this is our mission, whatever it is. But in our lifetime, we can choose how we manifest it. Or maybe this lifetime we don't learn the lessons, and in the next lifetime we learn the lessons, right? Maybe we're not, maybe we want to play around a little bit more in a different, whatever it is. We always end up where we need to go. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I think about the choice that as a collective, right, we made with the whole COVID game, where, we had a choice. We could have chosen light, we could have chosen darkness, we could have chosen a direct path, or we could have chosen the choice that we chose as a collective. We are experiencing a chaotic period. There's so much amazingness in this. Please be aware, we are entering into what is known as a new great cycle. We're entering into the true age of Aquarius, which basically means that it's the beginning of a 25,900
you're not getting
year
to
cycle.
So for anyone who
600-year
doesn't
cycle,
understand the
something
central
like
sun,
that.
it's kind of like the
Around
birthplace
central
of the
sun.
universe.
I don't know if I'm getting too
summarize it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can go there and get codes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Our entire universe circled around it. Yeah. It's like in our solar system, except way bigger. And we go around it too. And it takes almost 26,000 of our Earth years, right, to go around it. The Age of Aquarius is not this like woo-woo, whatever thing. It's the end of a 2,000-year period, which is the Piscean era, or Pisces. We just ended that. And we're going into Aquarius, which is literally a new age. In Aquarius, I just want to put this out there as well. This is the period where Pisces was religious fervorism and passion, which is very ego-led and ego-based. Aquarius, you're getting more into the enlightened expansion, balanced connection to source, balanced spirituality. Where we are now in these very moments, and this is where I'm getting to my whole point, it feels like it's chaos. It is chaotic. We did kind of choose that path, and it is going to be detour oriented, but it's just a period of transition. That's it. It might take a little while to make the
The
transition,
new
but
normal.
every major transition has to go through a period of upheaval in order to settle into what is, you could call it the new normal, whatever that new normal is.
We'll edit that.
So
It was
the new normal.
I feel it's the more aligned version
I should
of
go over the
who our
Great
souls
Reset if
truly
I'm already
planned us
at
to
it.
be. I don't know, fancy, but and sometimes it's not new. It's just like you said at the start, it's a deep remembering. It's like a reconnection with what you forgot. And we talk about one school of thought, depending on what you believe in, but whoever's listening to this, the thing I believe is that we go through the river of forgetfulness, right? And we purposely do that because if we knew how to get from A to Z, we wouldn't do everything in the middle. And this is part of the journey of being human and why you chose to incarnate. It was your choice, why you chose to incarnate in the world at this time and have these experiences and pull out your popcorn and just get excited when the world goes pear-shaped and you're like, I can't even make this up. We'll have another conversation. But the funny thing is that, a lot of species outside our planet think we're crazy. And I can't disagree because what we go through is a little bit crazy. I ask the guests that come on the show, if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
One thing, and this is honestly, you were talking about what you've been thinking about this week and what keeps coming up. So what keeps coming up for me is one thing. We have a tendency we are awakening, but there is something in us, I believe it's a part of our conditioning, that we're still looking for someone to show us the path or to teach us or to guide us, which is fine to an extent. But at some point, we need to find the way to help our collective learn to spread their own wings, right? So a true teacher, and I know you know this because you're nodding, right? The true teacher, you will teach the fledgling, you will guide them, to learn to fly, but damn it, they have to start flying. And so for me, if there was one thing that I could transform within the collective, it is to give them the gift of taking those first flutters of their wings and beginning to fly.
And if people want to come and work with you, Safra, or learn more about your institute, where should they head?
Remember who you are. Absolutely. Remember who you are. Yes. Yeah. So I have it's a private membership association. The reason we have that is to protect the sacredness of the knowledge and protect the information that is shared within it. Through that, I utilize man's law. And in America, we're under constitutional law. What it does is it gives us the freedom under man's law to associate, to practice our religion, whatever that religion is for you. For us, it's universal law, and to freedom of expression. So under a private membership association, you register, no payment, no tracking, none of that. It's literally so that you have access to. We have suppressed books in there. We have what we call it our living Alexandria, a library of Alexandria of suppressed books from thousands of years, and it's growing every day. We have medical and scientific backed articles on all things from suppressed healing and therapeutics to advanced energetica and science and spirit. And there are a number of courses to teach you about base 10 and base 12 matrix. All these stuff is free. iHolistica.com. And of course, we also teach more advanced programs and training. I do mentorships and do accelerated emotional healing. I am not a doctor. I am only giving information. I am not giving medical advice. Any information that you receive, you can and do whatever you want with it. You are a sovereign being. You make your own decisions. I offer support for health consultations.
What I heard was when you were sharing that is you're creating a new mystery school with the hidden libraries coming back to life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So number one mission is preserving the knowledge. Preserving it for us for now and to preserve it for
thank you, Safra, for sharing that.
I guess
love
so.
This.
Without the purpose of being a mystery school, yes. The goal is to awaken the collective and support
I fully resonate with you. You already know that. But so if you resonate or if you're curious, go follow that curiosity and go check out Safra's work because that curiosity is our soul nudging us to the right direction. So trust that. And if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully it doesn't get taken off YouTube. And if it does, head to our Substack. You can always find it there because we value our freedoms as much as our sovereignty, which is who we truly are. We are sovereign beings. So a big thank you, Safra, for being on the show. And thank you for everyone for tuning in and listening. Work.
Hey, beautiful souls. It is Catherine Crestani here, and I wanted to have a chat with you about a really amazing cacao that I drink to help me get in ceremony, to help me ground, but also just because it tastes freaking good. So, if you're curious and want to know about drinking something other than coffee or your standard tea, why not check out Creation Cacao? I love this with a bit of honey and cinnamon sprinkled in, and just letting it brew and having that whole intention as you create this cup. So, if you're curious and want to know more, check out the link in the show notes and in the bio and enjoy your cup of cacao. Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.